In our crazy world of honey and fuel, there are car guys, and then there are car guys. The kind of people who don't just want a cool set of wheels. No, they want the mythical stuff, the unicorns, the infinity stones of the auto industry. Machines that us mere mortals can only dream about. So what kind of machines are those? Well, I'm glad you asked. Hey guys, Stipe here with the 7 holiest of the automotive holy grails. Oh, cue angelic music! Number 7, Holden Maloo W1. 2017 was a sad year for the car guys living down under. GM was closing their long-running Aussie brand, Holden, and as a final farewell, they announced a limited run of the Commodore GTSR Super Sedan with the ultimate W1 package. I'm talking 650 horsepower Corvette ZR1 engine, adjustable racing suspension, manual gearbox, massive brakes, the whole package. It was a monster, but what about the Maloo W1? If Aussie car culture is known for anything, it's these unhinged utility versions of the sedans. Well, it's too complicated, excuses, so no, not gonna happen. Luckily, there was a group of renegade executives and engineers who thought otherwise. They decided to make the W1 Maloo anyway, even if it meant staying after hours and assembling them in secret.
What's going on here?
Only 4 were ultimately ever built and then sold privately to hand-picked VIP customers who then had to sign NDAs and keep their mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut, guys. But why such secrecy? Because the W1 sedan was marketed as the ultimate Holden. How would those 298 buyers feel if they learned that actually it wasn't?
What? What the f?
It was only 3 years later, after Holden was long gone, that the media learned this secret 4 even existed. And soon after that, the chassis number 2 was hitting the auction. Can you even imagine the hype? The bidding war was a bloodbath until someone finally threw down 1.05 million. Damn, man, that's a lot for a utility vehicle. But for the ultimate holy grail of Australian car culture, it was just the beginning. See? I told you. Number 6, R34 Skyline Z-Tune. The 90s twin-turbo Supra is great. And so is the NSX and the RX-7, Lancer Evolution, STI Impreza. They're all amazing. But on the pantheon of 90s JDM cars, can we all agree it's the R34 Skyline GTR which sits at the top? It's the mightiest, the most advanced. It is the final boss. Even the prices reflect that. You thought $250,000 for a clean Supra is as high as it can go? Please. And yet, that's not even its final form. Ever heard of the mythical Z-Tune? Z, as in the final letter, the final sang? It began after Nismo, which is Nissan's racing division, thought that all those V-Spec, M-Spec, NUR editions, none of them were ever special enough. So they decided to give the R34 a proper send-off. The problem was this car was already 18 months out of production. Now what do? It's pretty simple. You buy 19 used ones with super low mileage, strip them bare, only to rebuild them as these ultimate Z-Tunes. How ultimate? I'll tell you. The regular ones were capped at 280 horses. These? 500, motherfuckers. They basically gave it the GT500 engine, carbon fiber body with better aero, and a top speed of 203 miles a goddamn hour. In 2005, that was supercar territory. As for the value, well, there's only ever been one documented sale for $2 million, and that's for the silver one. One of only 2 in the coveted Midnight Purple 3 color, some estimate is worth over $5 million. That's not a car anymore, that's straight up treasure. Number 5, Hemi Cuda Convertible. If you're a fan of American muscle, and let's face it, who isn't, you already know about the legendary Hemi Cuda. When it came to sprinting down a quarter mile, this was the fastest production car from that classic era. And as bragging rights go, there's none more important than that one. Combine this pedigree with the fact that only 780 were made, and you might get why their values are now firmly in the six-figure territory and rising. However, those are puny numbers compared to what Hemi Cuda convertibles are fetching. The last time one of these crossed the block, the winning bid was $3.3 million, and that's not even the most valuable one. You have to remember that the NASCAR-bred 426 Hemi engine was an extremely expensive option. Less than 1% of Cudas had it, and those were mostly used for drag racing. But who's going to race in a convertible? The lack of a roof makes the chassis so weak that the torque from that elephant of an engine would twist the frame like a wet towel. That explains why only 11 were built. 11? More people have walked on the moon! And why today, if you see one, it's almost certainly a fake clone. The ones with all the matching numbers only ever leave their climate-controlled sanctuaries when it's auction time. So yeah, if you're into American muscle, this is it. The one. And if you want one, all I can say is you better have more than 3 million buckaroos to spend. Number 4, McLaren F1. Compared to the cars we've seen so far, the production numbers for the Big Mac might look massive, but don't let that fool you. In the world of elite collectors, 106 is still blink and you'll miss it, kinda rare, especially since we're talking about the first hypercar ever made. Back in the early 90s, Gordon Murray, the man with the most amazing mullet in England, decided to build a car with no compromises. He didn't care about the cost, he just wanted perfection.
Perfection.
Like, just for example, when he found that the BMW-sourced naturally aspirated V12 was running hot, he didn't back down and detuned it. No, this Giga Chad lined the engine bay with 24-karat gold, simply because that's what's best for heat reflection. Then there's the driver's seat. You don't just sit on the left or the right, you sit in the middle, like a captain of a 240-mile-per-hour spaceship. It was like having main character energy before this term even existed. The original sticker price was $815 large, which in 1994 was so out of reach that only 64 of the planned 300 road cars were even made. And now you'll be lucky to find one under 20 million.
Yeah, damn!
This chassis number 14 with the high downforce kit recently went for 25.3 mil, and don't get me even started on the super rare LM or the long-tail GT models. These were never auctioned, but if it was to happen today, some are estimating their values well above 35 million. Hey, what do you expect? The McLaren F1 is a major historical event in the car industry, and these are its rarest editions on top of that.
I still say this is the best car ever built ever and probably will never be beaten.
Moving on. Number 3, Rolls-Royce tail cars. To show you that holy grails don't always have to be some rare old machines whose values rose into the stratosphere, check out these latest coach-built cars from Rolls-Royce. Okay, cars, maybe the wrong word here since they're more like rolling art pieces, an haute couture on the wheels, if you will. It all began back in 2017 when Rolls-Royce showed off a totally unique, true one-off swept tail. Inspired by some old racing yachts, it took them 4 years to build it for some secret buyer at a price of, well, they wouldn't say, because asking how much a Rolls-Royce cost is like asking a woman her weight.
Oh, rude.
The leaks put it at 13 million, which means that at the time, this was the most expensive new car ever, and still only the beginning. Soon after, every other spoiled billionaire wanted a bespoke Model 2, so Rolls-Royce, ever to oblige, said, "Hold my champagne," and launched an invitation-only coach building program. Yes, only if they invited you. You can get one.
I want one.
No.
Anyway, next up, 3 very lucky, and again, very secret buyers got a chance to go crazy specking out their handcrafted boat tails. Once more inspired by the watery luxury, the attention to details on these were unmatched. The textures, the lacquer, the craftsmanship, even this picnic set felt nicer to touch than Sydney Sweeney's boobs. I'm only imagining here, I haven't touched either. The price, around 28 million. And now, 4 more lucky bastards are secretly telling Rolls how they'd like their tailor-made $32 million drop tails painted. But why all the hush-hush? It's not like we're talking about Epstein's clients here, right? Right? Number 2. Ferrari 250 GTO. This is one of those unspoken rules, but you can't consider yourself a true Ferrari collector until you add one of only 36 legendary 250 GTOs to your prancing horses stable. This machine is like the undisputed king, the collector's car for which the Holy Grail term was almost invented, but it didn't start that way. Back in the late 60s, GTOs were just some obsolete race cars. They were cramped, loud, and beaten to death on tracks like Le Mans. Believe it or not, in 1969, one changed hands for just $2,500. You couldn't give them away. But fast forward to today, and that same car is now worth more than its weight in gold. In the past 2 decades, the values have been exploding higher and higher, peaking at $51 million in 2023. But then 3 years later, this gorgeous one-of-one Bianco Speciale GTO sold at Mecum for only $38.5 million. Congratulations to the longtime Ferrari collector David Lee, I guess. You've just been made, but why the discount on this one? What's wrong with it? Well, the whispers around the pits are that the younger generation of billionaires, the crypto kings and tech founders, might not care as much about the 1960 racers that their grandpas used to lust after. They'd rather have the F50, the ultimate Ferrari from when they were kids, which explains why those are now skyrocketing in value. So does that mean the GTO is losing its crown? Maybe. Or is it maybe that when spending 8 figures on a Ferrari, it better be red?
Well, duh.
Anyway, it's time for honorable mentions. Here are 3 more holy grails of the car world. Can you guess which they are? Let me know in the comments, but first, it's time for the big one. Number 1, La Voiture Noire. The defining characteristic of the original Holy Grail from the Arthurian legends isn't that it's simply hard to buy, it's that it was actually lost. That kind of disqualifies every car I've mentioned so far. You can technically go and see them all in various museums, private collections, or concourse events, but such is not the case with the 1936 Bugatti 57SC Atlantic. Jean Bugatti, Ettore son and the genius designer behind it, called this car the ultimate artistic expression of the brand, and looking at those Art Deco lines, I don't think anyone could disagree. Even the doors are a work of art. Only 4 were ever made, of which 3 went to some European ballers of the era. This black one, Jean Bugatti kept that for himself. Today, we know exactly where those 3 are: Spain, Ralph Lauren, Walton family, but Jean's car? The legendary La Voiture Noire? This thing has been missing since February 18th, 1941. When the Nazis started tearing through France, it was a common practice to hide prized possessions, including cars, from destruction or looters. And so, on February 18th, Jean's Atlantic was hurried onto a train to Bordeaux. And then poof, it just vanished into thin air. Did it ever arrive? Was it stolen on the way? Is it still sitting in a collapsed barn under 86 years of hay? No one knows. The search for the black car has been going on ever since, and if it were found today, it wouldn't be just a car. It would be a $200 million miracle. The Black Atlantic is the holy grail in the truest sense of the word, and whoever, if ever, finds it, that person will be made rich beyond belief.
Rich, biatch!
Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for the flock of supporters who bankrolled this video, and yeah, go watch something else from Top Cars TV while I'm making the next one. Stipe out! Cut!